And we're back. It's been a while since my last upload, but the end of the season is fast approaching. In real time, here as I'm recording this commentary, we're in week 13 out of 14 for the regular season. I'm just now getting around to commentating my week 11 match against Kurisu, who is a long-time BBOL player. Always plays the Phillies. So he's got a lot more experience than I do, but my record is at this point was 10-0, undefeated. So despite the experience gap, I feel pretty good coming into this game. Looks like I'm looking over my lineup. I wasn't really carefully looking at his lineup when I moved over to his tab, nor was I really attending to the changes that I just made, if I made any at all. So we'll just jump straight into it. Oh, it's coming back to me now. Despite the fact that I played this game like 3 weeks ago or something, I remember Kurisu just throws nothing but heat. So that's the strategy, I guess. I mean, his pitcher is Ryan Vanderhook, who has a 100 heat rating. So I suppose it makes at least a little bit of sense to go with your best pitch. And it works out for him here with a 4-pitch strikeout to begin the top of the first. Looks like he also favors pitching low, which does make sense, especially if you're going to throw heaters. I'm thinking that's going to be a triple for Claudia. I stand corrected. So you saw that his second baseman kind of went for that ball, but she was too slow to make the grab. And Jason Giambi, who was for some reason in center field, also too slow to get the ball before Claudia was already like rounding second and headed towards third. So at that point, it was an easy inside the Parker. Will Jason grab this? He does. So that is one benefit of having Jason in center field, I suppose. I mean, he really should not be there, but he is a 3 height, so gives you better odds of making that grab. Catches me swinging early there. These constant heats, I don't think we've seen a single non-fastball pitch. Despite that, they can still be tricky to hit. Anticipating one. Yeah, I was thinking with a 3-1 count, he's not gonna want to walk me. He doesn't seem like the type. But I was wrong. He got me with the low heat when the count was 3-1, and now it's full. Yeah, but that was. See, that pitch right there was the type that I was expecting when the count was 3-1. Thankfully, we're able to hang around in that at-bat until we get the pitch that we were looking for. So a quick 2-0 lead. And next up in the batting order, I think, will be Gwen Sears. Because I mean, this is going to be a little bit of a DJ Khaled suffering from success humble brag type comment, I suppose, but because I am undefeated and I've only had one like really close game, I would say. A few of the games have been pretty good, but I've only had one where I was truly like, I don't know if I can do this. So my batting order hasn't really been put to the test, like a really harsh test, too many times. So I don't know if I have, all my hitters in exactly the right spots in the order. For example, I wonder if, I should have my 3 7 speeds, 1, 2, 3, then Cheryl clean up at 4th, and then Mo at 5th. I'm sorry, not Mo, the Mo clone. Smoke clone being Alicia Blakely. The nice little single there from Kurisu's leadoff hitter, who I believe was Lindsay Felgate. You'll notice that I have Donald Vogel at short rather than Cheryl. Well, oh no. Should not have made that throw to Wally. Should not have made that throw to the catcher. Yeah, that was a pretty unfortunate play. You'll notice that Kurisu held Lindsay at third there. And didn't start running home with her until like the play was essentially over. So I'm not sure what his rationale was there, but it made me think that I could get the throw out on her, and there were one too many errors, between the throw to Wally where he flubbed it as he does, and the throw from a 3-height Gwen at third to my 2-height catcher. This is the first run that's been scored against me in like 5 games, I think. I think I put up 5 shutouts before this, and it's only the bottom of the first, and already Kurisu is on the board with 2 runners on base because I walked what's her face. Who was it that I walked? Was it Joan? So we've got no outs on him here. This is big for Kurisu. I mean, he's, I would say, primed to pull even at least, if not take the lead. And Veronica, who he's got up to bat, has decent power and is a 7 speed. I was hoping to get him there on a pitch that was wide. Instead, we get him on a more honestly located pitch, thankfully. And here we've got Ingrid, a much less threatening batter, I would say, than Veronica, who was just up. I had Ingrid on my season 6 team, and she really underperformed for me, so I feel pretty comfortable here. Step. What am I doing throwing to third? Okay, I think I know the reason for my throw to third. If I had thrown to second, he could have turned Joan around on the base path and then sent his runner on third home. So I think I wanted to prevent that run from coming in. All right, Claudia, show me what you're made of. We make the grab. Nice little bit of auto fielding there. And I noticed that her eye was pretty good there. More like it looked towards the start of the season, where the little shadow that's cast on the ground was tiny. Whereas in recent games, it's been a bit bigger. She's spotted the ball less accurately, I guess. I don't understand the reason for the differences from week to week. I don't think it has to do with like the angle at which the ball is hit, at least not entirely, because, well, I don't know. Something I would have to research, I guess, which can be hard to do when you're talking about this game. You got to go digging through a bunch of different places. There's no like centralized database or like compendium of BBOL information. Oh. Okay. Pretty low coordination stat on Kurisu's pitcher, Mr. Vanderhook, but he still recovers in time to throw to first and get Artie out. It was a bit of a sad hit straight to the pitcher, but that was my own fault, to be honest, because I took it off open and put it onto squared. We should be able to get a double out of that. And now Fernando Diaz. So Diaz was the worst performing hitter on my team for a while, and I believe he still is on the season. But I've been getting some hits with him in recent weeks. So he's kind of reversed the trend, becoming more of a two-way player as he is my pitcher. Very happy about that. Okay, we don't manage to make it to first, as it looks like Kurisu has Ingrid on first, and she's rather fast. But Fernando does his job of advancing the runner from second base to third base. It's still exclusively fastballs from Kurisu, which still, to me, does not make a whole lot of sense. But that's going to be an easy out. To shut me down in the top of the second, and Kurisu hanging in there. Pretty good game so far. Fernando coming into the inning with, a pretty depleted juice box. So it's going to be tough to squeak that fireball in there. Hoping for some more swings and misses so I could get a power-up that might potentially, yield more juice. That should be foul if I touch it, right? Yeah. Okay, we're not going to get a veteran like Kurisu on a pitch like that, but maybe here. Yes. So if we see the more juice here, that'll just be me getting giga lucky. Not so much. We bring the infield in as George Coleman is, a terrible batter. And we're going to pitch to the left-hand side because I don't want him to hit it towards, what's-her-face, my first baseman. If he hit it towards my first baseman, she might run off the bag. And with her 5 speed, she could be a little bit too slow to make it back to tag out George. All right, let's see what we can do here. Will Wally make this grab? He does. Looks like he's better on the pop-ups. Maybe I switch him into the outfield? Put somebody different at second base? Or maybe I just change the way that I'm fielding. Like throw to short instead of throw to second base in some of those situations where I need to get the ball in that part of the diamond. What a hit from Wally. Are we going to go for 2 here? No. Wally's such a reliable hitter so far this season. We're going to try to send him around the base path with Claudia. We swing a little early there, and at a pitch I probably should not have gone for, even if it might have been in the zone a little bit, but no reason to swing at it. Okay, we're just hoping to avoid the double play here, and we do. Would have made more sense, I think, for Vanderhook to throw it to second there and get out Wally. But who knows? Maybe Kurisu trusts the fielding of his first baseman more than his second baseman, or... Oh yeah, we're going with Wally for sure. Expecting more from Alicia than she has been showing us so far this game, but we do advance Wally to third. So I might even... Yep, I was just thinking I might switch to line drive here. I switched to line drive, hoping for you know, a bit of a more reliable hit that would be less likely to get popped up. In order to advance Wally, that was my hope, but it did not work out. Now we've got Gwen. And that is a absolutely beautiful hit. And we score a run off the back of it. With Artie up, pretty strong hitter to potentially extend this inning. So 38 pitches from Ryan, 38 fastballs. And based on his lack of control, I would say that the one strikeout that he's gotten on me did not yield a more juice, or else he would have used it by now. So I'm expecting a pitching change soon. And it looks like maybe Kurisu is thinking about it, given that he's taking a little extra time. Yeah, we'll let that go. Force him even deeper into the stamina hole. Oh, swung too early there. It's true that swinging a little, you know, on the early side can help you pull pitches. Over Lindsay's head, I hope? Yes. And Jason too slow. But Joan does have the arm to hold Wally at third. Oh, yeah. Interesting. Based on the spot where Zoe, his outfielder, stopped, I thought she would have been short, or, you know, not far enough in, I should say, to make that grab, but she was well positioned. Okay, so Lindsay is probably Kurisu's most dangerous batter, even though she doesn't have the highest power rating. She does have her power rating is still quite high, plus she's very speedy. So we're going to try to get him with, you know, another pitch outside the zone, as he has shown that he'll go for some of those. Not something like that, though. I don't blame him for not swinging at that. It did look like it was going to hook, you know, way inside, but it didn't break as far as it kind of telegraphed that it would. So we get a very fortunate strikeout there. Whereas that pitch actually did break as much as I thought it was going to. So some good beats for us. Should probably stop pitching with Fernando right about now and get, you know, hide him in the outfield, put Chucky on the mound. But Kurisu not managing to make good contact here, even when he does see good pitches. So I guess, yeah, okay. I think this makes more sense. Hide Chucky in the, hide Fernando in the outfield. Yeah, we do that. Then we move Cheryl to shortstop, and we'll keep Donald at catcher, maybe. And there's the swap. There's the Wally to the outfield swap. I'm gonna try that out. I've already forgotten all the kind of minute details of this game, so I'm interested to see how Wally performs in the outfield. Very nice. Cheryl immediately proving herself at shortstop. She just got relocated there. And here's Joan May up again. I will be, pitching as many balls as it takes to just walk her straight up. No reason to tempt fate. She's got 100 power, and only 4 speed. So let's put her on first, and she'll be an anchor. With the lead that I have and the fact that there are 2 outs, I don't think there would be a lot of harm in pitching to her, but I don't. Like I said earlier, all these shutouts that I've been, putting up, I am not used to people scoring on me, so no solo home runs if I can help it, I guess. Throw to second. Yep. This is part of why the walk is so nice. Because if he sprints with his batter to get to first base, then he's, overlooking the fact, I suppose, that Joan is just going to get thrown out. So he wasted a bit of stamina there sprinting with Veronica, if he was indeed, clicking to get her going faster. And it looked like he was. Oh, so we do see a new pitcher here on the mound for Kurisu. It's George Coleman. And he's still throwing only fastballs, even though George Coleman's only decent pitch is a slow ball. So Kurisu just loves throwing heat, I guess. I seem to remember that there's a point where he starts throwing slow balls. That's a ball, yeah. Is it here? No. Yeah, I mean his fastball rating is 29 out of 100. If my eyesight isn't failing me, looking over here at my other monitor. Okay. Looks like he has changed up his strategy. So we're about, 45, 50 pitches into the game, and he's realizing there are other pitches besides fastball. The question is, will it do him any good? Yeah. I do believe that was in the zone. Probably could have just let it go, as I wouldn't necessarily want to put that ball in play without burning a little bit more of George's stamina. This, though, I want to swing at for sure. Should be an easy out. Yep. A lot of flubs from Felgate, his shortstop. She really should not be playing shortstop given the poor coordination stat she has, at least in my opinion. Her arm strength also not that good. I mean, I don't think she really belongs there, but whatever. Kurisu does have a lot more experience than I do, so perhaps he knows something that I don't. Now that he's not just throwing straight heat, I do feel more comfortable giving the steal sign. Probably should have just thrown it to second there, rather than stepping on first. But maybe not. That is Fernando that I've got on as my second base runner, and he's got some pretty low stamina. So here we go. Whoops. That's all right, Fernando. You just rest up out there in right field. Unless the ball, comes your way, then you've got to leg it. Okay, against a batter like Ingrid, I don't feel the need to be coy with my pitches. Gonna throw it inside the zone, more or less. Maybe less. Yeah. Less, and it does work out for us. We get another K. Maybe a more juice. That would be great. There it is. From what I have read, there are like 8 special pitches, and you're 3 times more likely to get a more juice than any individual special pitch. So it's like a 3 out of 11 chance to get a juice. And with 3 special pitches already, under my belt, you can see there. Ooh, should have swung at that. My goodness. That would have been, at the time that I got the juice, a 3 out of 8 chance, I guess. I expect to get him to pull the cord on that one. Instead, he goes for the breaking ball. Okay, now he goes for the heater. Yeah, at this... Whoa. Yeah. At this point, I'm feeling pretty comfortable. He's swinging at a whole bunch of stuff. Can pitch outside the zone here and probably get him with it. All right, Artie. Makes the grab. Artie with some pretty nice eyesight, which is why I've favored him in the outfield over Wally. But the swap has worked out pretty well since I made it, in whatever inning that was. I would love to see him hit a ball. He's in the bottom innings, so he has two more innings at least. The game could potentially go to extras, I suppose. So I would love to see Kurisu hit a ball to left field. I want to see how Wally does fielding it. I'll have to do it manually, I think, because his eyesight is a little worse than Artie's. Ooh, no, we don't want to... No. We don't want to swing at that. Should not have swung at that either. That was clearly, way inside. I think I'm maybe a little antsy for Alicia to get a decent hit. Yeah. You can see I go for that pitch. I mean, even here, with hindsight, that did look like a strike to me as it was coming in. I wonder how much higher above the plate, if at all, Alicia's strike zone is compared to 3 height players. Seems to be about the same. Oh my. Feels bad to hit a ball like that for just a little grounder. That was home run fuel. That's okay though. Big hit. That's probably going to result in 2 bases. Nearly a ground rule double, actually. We do have 2 outs, so there's no guarantee I can bat Gwen in here. But Artie, a reliable contact hitter, and Gwen pretty fast. Plus, he's throwing the same types of pitches over and over in the same location. Works out, though, as Artie does ground out. And so now we have a chance to see whether he'll, hit a ball into left field, and we can get a sense of how Wally performs out there. Should bring the infield in, I think. Yeah. Okay, and here's Ryan, who's probably still gassed after all the pitching he did in the first 3-4 innings. He's also got pretty poor speed. Ooh, can we get this? Nope. I should have just let Gwen keep running. I should have made that adjustment where she came in to grab the ball like at the absolute last minute, rather than trying to do it a little early, as you saw me go for there. I mean, that would have been, if he were a faster player, a faster base runner, that would have been a great hit. But, yeah, he's still quite tired after all the dealing he did in the first half of the game. Excuse me. There's some more juice. We've got Lindsay up. Thankfully, there are no base runners, and we have 2 outs, so the damage she can deal is minimal, so long as she doesn't hit a home run. But, you know, I got that inside the Parker with Claudia earlier in the game. Lindsay, another player who's capable of hitting an inside the park home run. Ooh, we just go for the fireball here. I think, you know, I think that kind of makes sense. But it's a ball. Do I just go for it again? Ooh, you saw he switched on to bunt. That's an interesting strategy against fireballs, because you don't need like perfect timing that way. All you need is to get lucky enough that you don't foul it off for strike 3. You just click bunt expecting the fireball. But then the problem is that your opponent might not throw the fireball, and you'll have gone for bunt not accidentally, but too early against the pitch that might not even be in the zone. Donald has perfect eye right now against George's pitches. I wonder what the reason is for that. I can tell, thanks to his, you know, super keen eyesight, I can tell when these low pitches are actually balls. That might be a strike. Yeah, I decide to go for it there. All right, Fernando. Been performing a little better for me as of late. Let's see what you've got here in the top of the 6th. I don't know what the deal is with the switch to power and the swing at a low slow ball, but yeah, I have no follow-up. Nothing after the butt. Okay. That was a nice pitch. I should switch to line drive here as I have 2 strikes. It's a ball. Let's go ahead and switch to line drive. Nope, I really am invested in hitting a homer here. Could actually make it. Yeah, interesting. He just lets me get on first. I guess he was afraid of George throwing like a super fast throw to first base and overthrowing his baseman, maybe? I figured out the reason why I went for power there was because after 2 consecutive fireballs, Fernando is completely gassed. So he would probably need to hit it over the fence just to reach base. This at-bat is going perfectly for me, as Chucky is pretty slow, and Fernando, given that he has very low stamina, also slow. So I really need to get walked here in order to get them both on base. Ooh. So we're just going to sprint super fast with Chucky. We do not get it, unfortunately, which means I'm not going to get the batting power up. But it does allow a very tired Fernando to advance to second base, which means Wally might be able to hit him in. So, not what I was hoping for out of Chucky in that situation, but we'll take it. I guess the reason I'm going for power here is kind of a similar idea to why I went for it with Fernando earlier. I don't think I'm going to, Fernando a little too slow right now. I think I need to hit it over the fence in order to advance him. So that's what we're going for. Okay, I thought that might have been high, but no. He's been throwing so many low pitches that he kind of threw me off with that higher one. There we go. That is what I was looking for. Okay, 7-1. And we've still got Claudia, Alicia, Cheryl coming up, so some chances to do more damage. But the game the game is more or less over, I kind of feel, but it will not technically be over until the bottom of the 6th. We've gotten through the bottom of the inning. And there's a chance for Kurisu to put on some more runs here. He doesn't have a great offense, but they're solid, I'll put it that way, except for George and Ryan. Which is understandable because those are his two pitchers. I also expected that pitch to be high. Ooh, yeah. That fastball had a bit of a hitch in its trajectory. So I think I might have swung a little early at it. But we're hanging in there. He gets me with that one, yeah. Some tricky pitch location from Kurisu in this inning specifically. All right, Fernando's juice has recovered a little bit. After those 2 fireballs. Yawning. Thankfully, he is fast enough, and his arm is not noodly enough yet. That he manages to throw out, what's her face? Zoe. Now that we have this big lead, I think we're actually going to pitch to Joan. Oh, I spoke too soon. I guess we're just putting her on. So I think his lineup, what is his lineup? I can't remember. Is it Lindsay and then Zoe and then Joan? And then Veronica? I think that would make sense. Maybe he has Ingrid towards the top of his lineup? I don't really remember. If I click over to their roster, I might be able to see. No such luck. Counting on Chucky to close out the game. I might not be able to field this in time. Okay. We do. That is why you walk 4-speed power hitters. That was just a little infield grounder, so I was able to throw it to second. But even, a hit in this game with the small size of the outfield, what the heck? With the small size of the outfield, even if he'd hit it to the outfield, I still would have been able to throw out Joan at second there. Okay, we're going to go for a special pitch to cap things out. Ooh. Do not recommend throwing big freezes to anyone listening to this. Do not throw them. Okay, looks like Kurisu doesn't know the trick to spotting one. Maybe look at the laces and see how they move. All right, good game. So Kurisu did manage to put up a run against me. First coach to do that in a while, so I'm sure the game did not go the way he wanted, but at least he did not get shut out. So it was a decent game. A lot of fastballs from George Coleman, though. Like, not even talking about all the fastballs from Ryan, who is a fastball pitcher. When his replacement came on the mound, the fastballs that continued to come in to be honest, they made no sense at all. But whatever. All right, we've got the stat screen caps. Next upload on this channel is going to be my Week 12 game against, I don't even remember who it was. Apologies to whoever my opponent was for Week 12. Hopefully it was a good game. Those of you who are following the channel will find out soon. Thanks for watching. See you next time.